channel Ruchi'sTeaching. This is Ruchi here. Today in this video I'm going to explain about various files used in cLanguage. Okay, various files, what all the files are required for the cLanguage are all those files I'm going to discuss in this video. Okay, so before I start my video, I would like to say that please, if you are newly watching this video, if you are new to the video, please subscribe the channel, support the channel, and this one, after watching, just give a like to it, share to your friends. Okay, and don't forget to comment also. Okay, still after watching this, if you have any doubts, please do comment so that I will reply to those comments. Okay, let's start our class. Now, in C program, in our C language, there are various files. Those files are dependent on our, like, program is totally dependent on these files. Once you start writing the program, the moment you write the program, from the moment you write the program, our files starts. So our file starts with our file name. Starting first file is our file name. So our various files in the C language starts with file name, C program name. That one, first one is that first file is nothing but the source file. Now first file is source file. Actually, by seeing this word only, you can understand what is a source file. If you have listened all my previous classes, like introduction class and sample program and basic structure of the program, if you have watched those videos, you will easily find out what is source file, because there I have explained about the source code. What is source code? Now you are writing a program. You will write a program and you will give a name to that program. So how you will give that name? Some file name, and that particular that particular program you will save with one name. Think that you have written a program and you are saving that program with sample as file name, right? Sample as file name, you are giving that this file name sample to your program. And how you will recognize that this is a C program? You have to give extension name also. So our C language has extension of .c. So this is the file name and this is the extension. Okay, now that means you are saving your C program with this, like this, with this name. Any name, .c should be there. So .c is nothing but it is the extension for the C language. So without .c you cannot recognize that file. By seeing that name of the file only, you can recognize whether it is a C program or a Java program or a C++ program. Okay, so here you are saving a C program with this name, sample.c. For example, I am telling sample.c. Sample is a file name which you are giving to the program, and .c is the common for all the C programs. So this type of files which you are saving are called as source files. So these files are called source files. Now source files are saved with the .c extension. Okay, understood? Now this is called as, this file name, file which you will save is called as source file. Now this source file is written in H high level language. Okay, this source file which you are writing as a C program is written in English, that is in high level language you will write this program. So this is source file is nothing but these are the files which you save the C program with some file name and with extension .c are nothing but those are called source files. Why we are calling it as source files is because the code which you are writing that in that program is called source code. Already I have discussed about this source code. So this is called the source code in which the program it is that source code it is there, that type of program is called as source file. Okay, so this is written in high level language. Now second file is in our C language, one of the files is header files. Header files. Now what are header files? Now each file has compulsory one extension name. So how you have now source file .c extension, like that header files also have extension with .h. So whichever file in C language, if you see that file with the .h extension, then you have to think that those are header files. And if you see a file with .c, those are called as source files. So now these header files, where these header files are there, where these header files are present, what is the use of these header files? Now in these header files you have many functions, built-in functions and macros, and all built-in functions, macros, keywords, all those things, keywords, constants, all those things are stored in this header file. Because when you write a program, a data type, int data, all those keywords, identifiers, constants, whatever you are giving in the program, those keywords are present in these header files. Now when the program understands, suppose you are giving a data type int data type and you are declaring a variable int a. Now how the compiler understands int? When the compiler understands int, when you connect your program to this header file, then only the compiler will understand this is keyword. Okay, so without linking, without the header files in the program, you have to compulsory mention the header files. Before you start main function, you have to include the header file. You have to mention the header files. Okay, without these header files, your program will not run, your program will not work. Okay, now our header files are saved with .h. I will show you what will be the header files is stdio.h. See, these are the header files. So .h is there means it is a header file. Okay, conio.h. This is also one of the header file. Okay, so our header files will be like this. Okay, understood? Header files are those files which are the files are entered with .h extension. Okay, if you see .h to any file name, then you should think it as it is a header file. Okay, so in this header file all these functions, macros will be available, and without the connection of the program to the header file, program will not work. So this is about the header file. Next, third one is object file. Now, what are object files? With the name only you can find out. Here I said about the source file. That means it is connected to some source code. Now when I talk about object file, you should think that here in this word only you can see object. So it is connected with the object code. What is object code and what is source code already I have discussed in our previous classes. So object code, which consists of zeros and ones, binary code, which is object code, is also called as binary code. So these object code, how will you find out that so and so file is object file? You have to find out with the extension name. So the file, this object file will have .obj. Okay, this is the extension for the object files. Now when does these object files are found? When this is recognized, where you will be getting object files. Now for how you will get this file is, now suppose you have written a source code. This is nothing but the program. Okay, this is nothing but program. Now this program you have written in high level language. Okay, you will write in high level language. Now this code is taken by the compiler. Where this compiler is present? Compiler is present in the operating system. Now this code is taken by the compiler, and now compiler will convert it to the object code. Right? Now this compiler will convert the source code to the object code. Now this is in low level language, which is called zeros and ones. Now what is happening here? Now here the program will be, here I am taking as example, as a sample is the file name, .c is the source code. This is the source file. This source file has given to the compiler to convert into the object code. Now this is nothing but, this is the object file. Okay. Now this is written, the name, suppose this one you have given to the compiler. Now this compiler will change this source code to the object code, and it will give the name as obj. The name of that object code, object file will be sample file name, this one only, sample, which we have given as a source code. That file name only it will take, but it will convert to the object file now. That's why it will remove the .c and it will give the extension of the extension as the obj, which is called object file. Now this is called as object file, right? Now you will call this as object files. Okay. Now this object file cannot be executed directly. Now again it will convert into one more file. I will tell you now later. Okay. So till now you understood. Source code is converted by the compiler into the object code. Now this object code is nothing but, it is the object file which will give the extension to that file as .obj. That means this sample C program is converted to sample.obj, that is object file. Okay, is it clear? Object file. Next, just now I said that object file will not directly executes. It is not directly executable. Then what you have to do? This object file should change to one more file called executable file. Next file is executable file. Executable file. Now what is this file? How can you identify this file, whether it is an object file or an executable file? How can you find out? Object file means you will already have .obj. Then what is the extension for the executable file is .exe. Okay, this is the executable file. Now how it comes out? Now just now we have discussed about the object file. Now you have got one, just now I have written as sample.obj. Think that this is the file name which has come from the source code to the sample.c program is converted to sample.obj. Now this sample.obj file, that is object file, has to convert to the exe file. Then only the program will execute. Now how does it happen? When does this changes to sample.exe? When does this changes to executable file? I will explain. Sample.c changed it to sample.obj, that is object file. Now this object file, how does it changes to the executable file is, now you have one section called linker section. Already we have discussed in our previous class. So what does this linker section does is, this linker section, this one linker will take this object code as input. This object code is taken by the linker. This object code or this file is taken by the linker as input, and this linker will, what does it do? It will change to the, after taking this input, it will change to the sample.exe. Okay? Okay, understood? You got the point? Now this sample.obj is the object file. Now this object file is taken by the linker and it will connect to the, this will connect to header files. This linker will take this object file as the input and then it will connect to the header files. Now when this linker connects this sample of object file to the header file, automatically the code which is present in this is connected to the header files, and whatever output you want, it will, this, because of these header files, already I have said that in header files only all that data types, keywords, identifiers, everything will be there. So once you connect this object code to the header files, automatically it will change to the, this code will change to .exe. Okay. Now when this file changed to this executable file, this is executed. Okay, this file is executed. Okay, okay, this becomes the executable code and you will call it as executable code also. Executable code, you will call this as executable code, and this is executed. Then after changing to the exe is connected to the operating system again. So now what operating system is doing? Operating system is executing this program. When this file, this object file is changed to the exe file, this file is executed in the operating system. Okay, understood? So what is happening here, how object file changes to the executable file is, this object file taken by the linker as the input and connects to the header files, where it understands everything and every code, all the code which is present in this is connected to the header files and it understands what is happening in that, then changes to the sample.exe executable code. Now this code is executed by the operating system, so you will call it as executable code or executable file. Then it is executed. So the executable file is recognized or identified by .exe files, .exe extension. Okay, and the next and last file is library files. Now what are these files? Library files. Now what are these files? Already we have discussed about the header file. Mostly these libraries are stored in these header files. Okay, library files are the files which are stored in the header files. For example, stdio.h, conio.h, next math h, and std, str, string.h. Now what are all these things? These are the library files, but you can say that this is also called as header file. You can call it as header file, or even you can call it as library files. So these files are nothing. I said that whenever you see .h, those are header files. In this, many libraries are there. I will tell you what are those libraries. Here you have, for example, I will take two examples. Printf function, scanf function. So these two are the libraries or the functions present in this. So this becomes one library. Okay. So that's why you will call it as library file. And here con means console. Okay. Next math. Here you can find sine, tan, cot, cos. So not only this, any algebraic equations also, some expressions, algebraic equations. So all those things, all those equations, all those things comes under this. So those things, libraries are kept in this header file. So string, about the string, to find out strlen function, and how to take out the length of a word, all those things you can do from this. So these libraries, you will call these all as library files. Okay. So you understood now? The various files used in our C language are source file, header file, object file, executable file, library file. Now, source file changes to object file changes to executable file. Okay. Now header file and what? Library file these two are the connected to the linker section. Okay, these two are connected to the linker section. Header file and library file are connected to the linker section. Source file changes to the object file changes to the executable file. Then only the program runs. So all these are the files which we use in our C language. So with this I have completed the files in the C language. Okay, I hope you understood this. If you still have any doubts, please whatever doubts you have, you just say it in the comment section so that I will try to reply to it. And I hope you liked this video. If you like it, please give a like to the video and share to your friends. And don't forget to subscribe the channel if you are new. Okay then, bye. Thank you.